I've been playing D&D for 7 years, and out of those 7 years, I've run 5 campaigns. And out of those 5 campaigns, only 2 of them have ever reached any sort of satisfying narrative conclusion. Now, I'm not a mathematician or anything, but I don't think the statistics are coming out too good on that ratio. So today, I'm going to talk about why campaigns usually fizzle out before they end, mechanically speaking, and what we can do as DMs to fix this and get ahead of it before it happens to you, because it's gonna happen to you. It's coming for you. All right, so in my never-ending battle against fizzled out campaigns, the first order of business is to address life. Because at the end of the day, no matter how seriously we take D&D, and no matter how much we love this hobby, people move. People get new jobs. People have babies. And when any of these things happen, schedules have to shift around, and suddenly, even though Saturdays were working really well, now John can only do Tuesdays, but Stacy said that she can't do Tuesdays because that's when she's got to take Timmy to hockey practice. And next thing you know, you're watching your campaign sink like the Titanic through Discord messages, looking at this notebook full of prep that you know is never going to see the light of day, and it hurts. It hurts really bad, and I don't want to see that happen to you, okay? So just hear me out. The next thing that's sure to kill a campaign before your big bad evil guy does is the fact that it is only natural for people's attention spans and interest in your campaign to decrease over time. Now, I'm not saying that your campaign is boring. I'm not saying that your players aren't having a great time playing your game. But I am saying that we live in a world where source books are coming at players faster than we can keep up with it. We've got Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, and it's just, there's a lot of things fighting for our players' attention spans. And as DMs, it's nearly impossible to keep up with all of it. And so people start to get distracted, people start prioritizing other things, and next thing you know, you're looking at your campaign go tits up in the Discord messages, and you're looking at your notebook full of notes, and you're sad and you're crying, and I don't want that for you. And last but most certainly not least, we've got the campaign narrative that just gets completely out of control. No one knows what the fuck is going on, okay? I think this is the most natural reaction to the decrease in interest issue. Because again, we are in an era of this hobby that is uncharted territory. It is unlike anything that Gary G ever had to deal with. The fact of the matter is most new people coming into this hobby found D&D through things like Critical Role or Baldur's Gate 3 or shows like Game of Thrones, and the difference between all of these things in your campaign, except maybe Game of Thrones, is that they are all created by expert professional storytellers. And so while their fantastic stories span huge swaths of time and cover amazing character arcs, it's a lot harder for us average Joe Schmo DMs to keep up with all of that. And so, especially when a campaign kind of gets past that 1-year mark or a 2-year mark, it can be easy for things to get totally out of control. And so next thing you know, you're flipping through your notebook, you're pulling an MCU, suddenly you're in the multiverse arc, you're time traveling, Timmy's drooling on the keyboard because he can't keep up with what's going on, and boom kapow, your campaign is dead before you ever got to any sort of satisfying conclusion, narratively speaking. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Geez, okay, goddamn, all right, I get it. My campaign is inevitably gonna fail and die. Everything sucks. No, that's really not what I'm trying to say here. But there are a few techniques that we can deploy to get ahead of this and end your campaign on your own terms in a satisfying, exciting way that makes your players ready for more. All right, so let's go. First off, you gotta plan for the end from the very beginning. If you're starting a new campaign, I want you to sit down with your notebook and think about how the campaign is gonna start, how the campaign is gonna end, and how your players are gonna get from that start to that end. That is what we call a story arc. And I know that this might seem pretty obvious, but again, it can get so easy to get out of control, especially if we're only prepping 1 or 2 sessions ahead. We never know what our players are going to do next. We're trying to accommodate everybody's backstories. And next thing you know, you have no idea how you're going to wrap this thing up. So if you plan for your campaign to have an ending from the very beginning, when things get out of control or you get overwhelmed or you don't know where to take your players next, you can use that ending as a guiding star, and you know that you've got this epic conclusion and you can keep pushing your players in that direction. And I mean, I get it. It's not all doom and gloom. A lot of players like playing the same character for a really long amount of time. Or maybe you're all having a lot of fun and you don't want to stop. May I suggest an anime time skip to switch things up and keep people on their toes? This way, if one of your players really likes his character, but they want to try a new class, you can use the conclusion of an arc to narratively justify why the paladin is now a cleric, or why the bard is now a warlock, or vice versa. At the same time, if Timmy has a baby now and he can't play D&D anymore because he's got to take care of his stupid little baby, you can use the conclusion of an arc to let Timmy bow out gracefully so he's not leaving the Discord in disgrace and making everyone feel bad about his baby. And yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that you can do with this. You can keep the same characters and you can send them to a new region in your world, or maybe they could go to an entirely different world. Or you could keep the campaign going in the same world, but your players can all roll up new characters and you've got a new party adventuring in the same world. You can bring in their old characters as NPCs and people will go like, whoa, dude, that's so cool, fucking Toki the dwarf, I played him that one time. And finally, when a campaign comes to a satisfying conclusion and you close the book on these characters and these worlds, it's not the end. Don't panic, just propose a new campaign. Let your players know, hey, I think we got like 5 or 6 sessions left. What do you guys want to do next? And guess what, bozo? It is more than likely that they're going to be stoked to keep playing. You can try out a completely new system. You can try being a player for a while and let one of your other players run a game. Or like I was saying before, they can keep the same characters and travel to a new region. You can maintain the same world, send it 50 or so years into the future, and roll new characters. There are plenty of ways to start a new campaign, but keep the legacy of the old campaign alive and thriving in the hearts of your players. But none of that will happen if you don't end your campaign before it ends itself. Okay? Have I made myself clear? I hope so. This was really more of like a rambly type video. I got a green screen. I literally have no idea what I'm doing with it. It is literally held up with duct tape. All good things must come to an end. Marcus Aurelius said that, I think, just like this video. All right.